Hey guys, so we're going to learn how to get into Scratch today. So first you're going to want to click on the class registration. It's going to come to this page where I've invited you in. It should say biology, it should say BH089. Next you're going to click get started. Now, if you've already created a Scratch account in the past, it's going to tell you right here, you need to create a new Scratch account for this class. So I would suggest for your username being something that you're going to remember, like your K-12 account, like BH089 at k12.sd.us would be a good one so that you don't forget it and your password. I do not have access to your passwords or your username. I just will see your username. Make sure your username is appropriate, but it can't be your real name. They don't want you to share that information. Once you do get in, you're going to see something like this. Now, this is my teacher page, so it looks a little bit different than what you're going to see, but you're going to see this create button right up here, and that's what we want to do. We want to create. And from here on out, once we push this create button, everything that you see that I'm going to show you is what you would see in your project. And so remember, you're going to do it on the cycle specifically for your bio. So we need to set a background. So if you look over here in the bottom right-hand corner, you're going to see this backgrounds. And so if you want to search, you can click on this. Oops, I clicked out right away. And then you're going to be able to see all of this stuff. So if I want to go tropical, they don't have anything for that. But maybe even if you put it in the first couple letters, desert. There you go. So if you're doing a desert, that would be a good one. You can also go to outdoors. And once you click on outdoors, you're going to see like the beach, you're going to see flowers, you're going to see a forest, a hayfield, a savanna. So there is some choices that you can use in here for this. So because none of you are doing a wall, I'm going to pick a wall. And so now that you can see that, we can also change that background. So I want to do some background changes within this. So I might pick something like a heart. So now I have two background changes. And then I can go through and show you how to do that. Your little spirit over here. So you can have the option right next to that of picking a different spirit for that. So if you have something that would have a beetle in it, feel free. You can push that beetle. I don't like the cat specifically, scratch the cat. So I'm going to get rid of the scratch. But I might want to add just a few spirits in here to have that, or sorry, sprites in here to have that conversation. We're going to add Abby as my second one. Now, once you have them in here, you can simply move them to wherever you want. So you can place them so that they can start wherever you want. Notice as I click on one, or the other, you're going to see it go back and forth, and you're going to see this little icon right up in this area. This is the coding area that we see right here. And so this is specific to that sprite that you're going to have. So you want to make sure that whatever one you're coding for, you're going to start there. Now we're going to use broadcasting for this. So we always start encoding with some type of event. This triggers our characters to actually do something or to start the coding process. I'm just going to simply put when the green flag is clicked. Now, when the green flag is clicked, I'm on my little beetle guy over here. Maybe I want him to say, hello, Abby. So I can go in there and change hello, Abby for 2 seconds. And that will change that. I can also have him think. I like my little beetle, but as soon as he says this, I want him to switch a costume. And so he doesn't have a costume switch. So if I go up here to costumes, I can actually change him and convert him, or I can paint on this. And so then I can actually add that or save that as a costume switch. So you can add letters, you can do a fill, you can change his colors in here. So there's lots of stuff. So the fill colors, I can go up here and say, oh, I want him to be this color. Maybe I don't like this little thing I did and I'm going to erase it. If you ever make a mistake, Control Z is a really good way to change that, but I'm going to just change some fill. So we're going to change his fill in here so that he has some green, and I like to have maybe some yellows in here. So we can just change this fill color. So he has a little different texture than what he started with. You can go down here and change that gradient. So maybe it's super light. And we can get that as a different costume. You can enlarge it. You can add stuff to him. If you really want, you can take his legs away or something like that. But you don't have to. You could also choose a costume from here. So I can go and choose a costume. And when you choose a costume, it's going to come back over here and you might be able to choose any costume, but my guy is an animal. So I'm going to go to my animal costume. If you notice, there's lots of little animal costumes in here and change it to. Now, he is a beetle and they don't have a natural costume change. So we're just going to add one to him. And then when you go back to the code, the beetle, he's going to turn into a dragonfly. So with your costume change, you can actually switch your character without switching your character. Because realistically, that beetle and dragonfly are the same. So here's the key though. When I do something like this and I want to see that dragonfly every time, I want to start with a beetle every time. So I need to click it to beetle. So this means when this green flag is clicked, he turns into a beetle. He says, "Hello, Abby," for 2 seconds and he turns into a dragonfly. If I don't put this switch the costume to beetle, he'll stay a beetle the next time I click the flag. And I don't want to do that. Okay, so now that I've done that and I've switched my little look, I could also make him move if I wanted to. He could move after he turns into a beetle. Maybe I'm going to have him turn 15 degrees, or you can set a place coordinate, or you can just put random position. Random position's a fun one too. So we'll go to a random position. So now when you see this, he's going to say, "Hello, Abby," turns into a dragonfly, goes to a random position and turns 15 degrees. And so fun stuff that you can do with that. But we want to send, Abby wants to be able to have this conversation with him. So we need to make sure under, the events, we need to broadcast message 1. And then we want to click on Abby. When message 1 is received, Abby is going to say, "I really missed you. I am glad you are here." Now that's a pretty long message, so I'm going to change my time to 5 seconds. With this too, maybe Abby is going to play a pop sound. I don't really like the pop sound, so instead of recording, I can go to my sounds. I can add a sound, search sounds. Maybe I can have that guitar. All right, I like that. So we're going to go back to the code instead of the pop sound. Notice that's right there already. When Abby does that, she's also going to change her look a little bit. Let's switch the backdrop. Notice I picked a second backdrop at the beginning, and so I can go back to wall. And so because I've picked those backdrops in the beginning, those backdrops are there and set, I can switch Abby's costume. Abby is in costume D, so I want to make sure when that message is received, that she's in costume D, and I'm going to switch her to costume C. So she'll switch costumes as she receives that message, or you can go back to the beetle and make sure she's on there, or you could put another one to make sure she starts the same every time. It's to go to your events, and then I'm going to separate this code out just a little bit, take this one. When green arrow is clicked, Abby's going to go back to that message. And then I want to broadcast, and this is no longer a message 1. I'm going to create a new message. I'm going to name this message 2. If it is easier for you to put Abby talk 1, Abby talk 2, you can do that too. So now here's what we're going to see. When I push the green arrow clicked, the little beetle does this. And then here's what we're going to see. And then Abby switches, and then we have this new change. Because I want that background to start the same every time with that heart, switch background to hearts, Abby change. Because if I don't do this, so I'm going to separate this out so that it is not part of the code here. So we're just going to put that off. So knowing green arrow is clicked, notice that Abby's not changing, everything's not going, and it's not reading that code because it doesn't have any trigger to read it. So it's not going to allow that code to play. So I need to make sure that, hey, I got to put this here. If you do not put an event to trigger the code won't play. But once I get that message broadcasted here, I can put back to my event, when message to received, because that's what I named Abby's message. I'm going to put this beautiful, I missed you too. Now, you can name these characters whatever you want. And then I'm going to want to make sure that this is broadcast. I'm going to create a message again for this. So this is my new message 3. And so when I do this, I can now click my arrow, change this to my heart. Hello, Abby. Really miss you. Costume change was done there. And then after it's played everything, I miss you too. So you can make a move. You can change the backgrounds wherever you want to go. If you don't like something, like say, I don't really like this message, just push delete. You can get rid of all of it by just pushing that backspace button. It just goes away. And so you can try stuff out. You can play with this. Just remember, please change this to your name. So I would change this to Mrs. Duder, cycles, and maybe I'm doing the nitrogen cycle. And then I have a share button. And so make sure that if your share button's not working, that you please let me know. But you should, once you register for class, have that share button. Once I share this, here's the great thing. This is now shared. Oops, I forgot to push my enter button when I was done. So now that's name that. I can copy link. Once I've copied this link, you guys know how to add a link to your classroom assignment, and then you can just add that link right in there, and it is viewable by anybody in the public. If you have any questions, please let me know, but I think this was an easy, fun project. Just please remember, there is a rubric attached. You need to follow your rubric. All right. Okay. You guys have a great snow day. I hope the next time that we're together, Hayden's feeling better and I'll be with you.